All right. Good morning. This is Jack the Net, and this is the pre-market recording for the morning of Thursday, the 1st of August. Our disclaimer: we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to hang on one second. Right, we're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing, learn from it, transfer our own charts, and know how to issue trading signals. Right, we're kind of at an important stage here on ES because we've broken up from the double bottom. It does look like a double bottom rather than the bear flag, and we're trying to break over the monthly pivot. If that converts to support, chances are we're going to make that target, and that target is in the 56.35 area. We've also got a double bottom, but what I would say, we've now got the 60-minute sell signal fixed here. In Q, we don't have a 60-minute sell signal fixed here. We could fix that with a retest of this high and fail at the monthly pivot, which is basically the new monthly pivot is basically at the high. We've got a double bottom there. That's got two targets as the bottoms separate. First one's at about 19,954, and the second one's at about 20,100. If we can get over and convert the monthly pivot, chances are we'll do both of those. If we can't, then we'll fail right here. But no negative divergence there really. RTY has gone back up and retested the high. This actually provides quite a nice fail setup in the event that the market does turn down here. So, because this is a nice looking double top. YM hasn't made a nice looking double top, but we're still on a 60-minute sell signal there. So we've got two open sell signals, one of which is showing its age a bit. But the ES one is fresh minted overnight. DAX and STX, no divergence really. Not a great deal to say, as there often isn't on the European indices. Let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. All right, now on all of the, I've been working quite hard on the new monthly pivots this morning, and they're on all of the futures charts, and I'll just give you the ones on the index charts too while I'm doing this. So hang on one second. I'm sorry, I thought I already had this open. Okay, on SPX, the new monthly pivot is at 5528. Obviously, we're coming up from a slight break of this trend line here, and we could be heading back up into a retest of the high, but there's nothing hugely saying that we are going to, and we do have an RSI 14 sell signal still fixed on the daily. Having said that, that would probably survive a retest of the high, as long as that was just the second high of a double top. But in terms of the pattern setup here, that's a break of the trend line. We'd often see a retest of the high and then a fail if it was going to go further. And at the moment, we're not seeing a lot of strength on tech, which is something to be watching. In terms of the resistance here, we have come back up, as I was suggesting we might yesterday, and we have tested the daily middle band, and at the moment that is holding as resistance. So there is a pretty obvious fail area here. We've got the new monthly pivot, and we've got the daily middle band. That is not bad double resistance. We could well fail here, and obviously we've got the 60-minute sell signal on ES, which is fixed overnight. Nothing on the 60-minute here. You can see this trend line has broken. A couple of breaks below it here. If we were to be topping out here, don't really see a head and shoulder option. We need to get through this open breakaway gap, which basically was support. If we're going to do that, a retest of the high here and the fail would set up a very nice topping pattern, and we could do that. In terms of the buy signal, that made target, and we've now got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the SPX chart. All right, NDX. This looks rather different because on here, the RSI 14 sell signal has already made target, and we've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed. The new monthly pivot is at 19,574. We didn't see a break of the trend line here, but we didn't see a hit of the trend line here either. So that looks like unfinished business below. Could we see a retest and fail here too? Yes, although unless NDX speeds up relative to the others, that would seem less likely. Looking at the hourly charts, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed here, which I haven't got marked in, and that hasn't made target yet. But we've also got an RSI 14 15-minute sell signal fixed. So some weakness initially is probably to be expected. I would note, I was mentioning a couple of days ago that this was an unusual end of the month and first of the month, because the end of the month in July led bearish. Although in fact it went up, but it's only a lean. And today leans bullish on yesterday, by the way, and of course, and leaned bearish today. Only about 40% bearish, so but nonetheless bearish. So if we're following that, well, bullish yesterday was right actually, and today down would follow that too. In terms of IWM, we didn't have any negative divergence on the daily chart, but we've now got possible weak RSI 14 sell signals brewing and RSI 5 sell signal brewing. What would make these stronger? More upside. Because this, I generally just like to see well-defined peaks, and at the moment this isn't a well-defined peak. It could become a well-defined peak by going a bit higher, and of course we do have a target higher, and a retest of this high here at 235.46. We could go and get it. Obviously that would ruin the short-term double top scenario, but that would hit a big target and potential resistance level, and obviously we're already over both the weekly and the monthly pivot here. Looking at the 15-minute chart, no divergence on the 15-minute, nothing on the 60-minute, I don't think, no. All right, Dow. We've not quite made it to the retest of the high, so we don't have a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing. On the hourly chart, no divergence, and here we just missed having 15-minute divergence. So we've just got that on SPX and NDX, but really this decline has all been about tech, and tech is still lagging. And if we retest the high on ES and then come down, that's probably mainly going to still be about tech. We shall see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at cryptos, and I've got some interesting stuff to show here because we've got two scenarios here. I was talking to Matt about this, and I outlined this scenario for him a couple of days ago or at the weekend, and I was talking about the possibility that we would come back and retest this low here. Now this is potentially a floor, but it's also potentially a head and shoulder neckline. So I do have a bear scenario here, and this is a really important inflection point. The bull scenario is probably after a retest of this low, we set up positive divergence on the hourly chart, and we head back up to ideally the 185 area, which would match the left shoulder. On the bull scenario, we would then continue higher, and because we've got a flag that is broken up with a target in the 209 area. The alternate scenario is that we are forming an alternate flag, and I've sketched that on the weekly chart here. And this would be that scenario. If we see a hard break of this level here at 165, particularly if we have a head and shoulders, that head and shoulders would have a target, which would be down in the 28 area. It's right, that would be in about the 138 area. But the real target at that stage would probably be this target. And I've sketched this in these dotted purple lines, and this would be this initial triangle expanding into a larger bull flag. And depending on when it was reached, that flag support would be in about the 110 to 113 area. And that would be an ideal setup, and we often get ideal setups on the cryptos. So this is something I'm taking seriously, and it's also backed up by what we're seeing on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I mentioned this to Matt as well, and this is the current floor and possible head and shoulder neckline on Bitcoin. We could see that bounce. Ideally, this one would be 68.5K, and if we were to do a leg down, if we saw a breakdown from here, the target would be in about the 56 area. So that would get us back down to here, and that wouldn't take us lower, but we could go lower. What I would say is, on the bigger picture, this is already a beautiful flag. Actually, breaking below it, that could be a bullish underthrow, but frankly, it wouldn't improve the quality of the flag. This is already a really nice bull flag. So there's nothing. Solana, there's a good setup for it, but here there's not really, if it follows it down, it's going to be following Solana and may well not get back below this low here at 53.5K. Ethereum also has a beautiful flag right here. This could turn into a flag channel, go a bit lower, but it's already pretty damn nice. Not seeing a head and shoulders option here really either. But we could be ABCing, but we've already retraced over 50% of the decline. So I'm not really seeing a big downside scenario here on either Ethereum or Bitcoin. But on Solana, yeah, that actually is tempting. There was one of the crypto whales on Twitter that Matt referred me to this morning. He's been mentioning this scenario. I'm going to do a post outlining all this tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's have a look at DX. DX, we've got a a rally from yesterday, but this looks like a flag that's broken down. So I'm leaning towards more downside and a retest of the 103.3 area. CBE has gone higher. I was warning this was a potential risk, and obviously the next move on interest rates does look very likely to be down, and that's encouraged by the fact that the economy appears to be slowing, and that's obviously bearish for interest rate levels as well. So we could be going higher here, and at the moment we've broken these highs and we've killed off the downside scenario in this double top entirely. CL. CL, I was mentioning yesterday that ideally if CL was going to go all the way back, then it would pause at this inverted head and shoulder neckline, which was just over 78.5. This has improved overnight because the new monthly pivot is actually at 78.69. So effectively, we've got one of my favorite setups here, which we've got a possible inverted head shoulders forming at the monthly pivot. And this means that if we go down and form a right shoulder and then we break up, then as we break and convert the neckline, we are also breaking converting the monthly pivot, which tends to provide a pretty solid break and improves the odds on the IHS making target. I really like this setup. Ideally, the next phase in the next phase here would be to pull back into the inverted head and shoulders left shoulder low area, which would be in the weekly pivot area, 77.44. Or 77.5. It's if we can pull back to that and break up, we've got an IHS which could take us back to these highs. Although I think the target would actually only be back to retest this high in the 82.5 area. But if we did see that, that would probably get us through the triangle resistance that stopped us last time. NG. Bit of a problem, Charles. We've got plenty of positive divergence, but it's really not making it off the ground. If we lose 2, then I've got an open target in the 1.87 area. In the meantime, this isn't a bad-looking double bottom, although it's not maturing like a fine wine. It was better yesterday and the day before. But we will see how that goes. Not a bad-looking setup. Nice positive divergence. It could turn here. Right, dollar. This is holding up pretty well in terms of the dollar rallying yesterday. I'm liking the upside here, and the dollar looks as though it will cooperate, so I'm liking the upside across the metals. SI made the little double bottom target, probably going to go higher. Monthly pivot resistance at 29.47. On HG, we've broken up from the little double bottom, not actually showing a great deal of interest in the upside. We've got positive divergence on the daily chart. I'm quite liking a low, and this isn't a bad bullish underthrow on a falling wedge. So I'm quite liking the upside, and if it can get going, then the next obvious target would be the trendline resistance in the 4.45 area. All right, let's have a look at KC. KC got to double bottom resistance and then came straight down again. So it's made a lower low. We've still got a nice looking double bottom here, albeit a different double bottom. I have sketched in the possible trendline support here, which I've got in about the 222 area. On SB, SB looks like a bull flag forming at the moment. We've still got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. It still hasn't made target, and it would need to go lower to make target. But we've also got an IHS target, which is up into about the 19.65 to 7 area. And that looks fine as long as we can get over the monthly pivot at 1919 and convert that to support. I'm still quite liking that at the moment. This just looks like a bull flag from the short-term high. On CC, still just doing its thing, going sideways. Sooner or later, I'm leaning towards this resolving down, making this double top target and retesting this low. ZW, still got a nice looking double bottom, and we don't have any positive divergence because we didn't quite retest this low. On corn, still got a nice looking double bottom, but this again isn't aging like a fine wine. We are continuing to go down. If we continue to go down, this will no longer be a nice looking double bottom. On soy, soy still a nice looking double bottom, but again, go much lower and it won't be. Week 60-minute buy signal fixed here. We've got Stan's expecting a big rally on grains, and we've certainly got the positive divergence for it. Whether we've got the grains buyers for it, I don't know. Harder to say. CT. CT, we've got a double bottom here, and that's got a target if it can get over the monthly pivot area, which is obviously resistance. You often find that monthly pivot areas, monthly pivots appear at existing resistance and support levels, and this has certainly been the instance this month. If you can get over that, then this has got a target in about the 70.75 area. On lumber, still got a nice looking double bottom, still thinking about whether or not it's going to resolve upwards. Targets, if it does, would be in the 535 and 545 area. Live cattle still has a disturbingly nice looking double top here, but this looks like a bull flag forming. When we have made some significant further highs, then this double top will be looking a lot less good, which would be good for the bulls. Lean hogs, I was saying that we'd probably found support. That was at the new monthly pivot. 60-minute buy signal has fixed, actually only a week one, I should mark that in. But getting back to the weekly pivot here, I'm expecting this to come back and retest this high and probably go higher. We shall see. All right, just to review on ES. We're reaching an important inflection point here. We're at the daily middle band on the SPX chart, and we're basically trying to convert the monthly pivot, new monthly pivot on SPX and ES. This is an area where this could fail, and we have got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. We don't have a sell signal fixed on NQ, but you can see that the high so far is at the monthly pivot. That would need to break and convert as well. So we're at a possible point of failure here. If we break and convert these, and if we get a solid move up from here, then the chances are ES is heading back to a retest the high, in my view. We will see. We're halfway back there. We could fail right here. We could get back up here and then fail, as long as that was fairly quickly. But anything much over that, and chances are we're heading back up into a high retest. That could be the second high of a double top when we get there, but we'd have to see how it looks when we get there. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Hang on. It's weird. We're having screens. Yeah. It's Matt and I chatting almost every day. I'm planning to be very active at Arian. It's I like working with Matt. He's a good guy. So, all right, cool. In that case, I think that's a wrap. My pleasure as always, guys, and I'll have everything posted as soon as possible. Because some of you couldn't see the link, there's this screen. I'm going, as soon as I have this uploaded to Vimeo, I'm going to drop the link into the Twitter feed. And then obviously, I'll be putting it on the page as usual later. All right, catch you later, guys.